wale walioshikwa. Baada kama wanao hivi. I'm ready.
Sorry, you're ready? Okay, I'm ready.
You understand in English or Swahili?
Say, which one are you comfortable with?
Any.
English.
In English, Swahili. Okay.
Yeah, because it's for a very big feature that we're
Okay.
planning to do.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've been dealing with an issue of extremism worldwide, and in Kenya it's picking up pretty fast. And looking at Sunday's event, where do you think this is taking us and the way we're handling it?
Well, first of all, it's being handled. I mean, the whole thing was a total mess, And what is happening is when you go into a society that has already perceived itself that their forces are against them, the rest of the country is against them, and you start doing things like these, then you're basically pushing them to say that you go to another alternative. And I'm not shy of saying this, but this is the way the situation is on the ground, where every single morning we have to start quelling issues, and we have to start making sure that fires are put out. It's not healthy. It's not healthy for this country at all. When you do something as insane as trying to arrest a 9-year-old on the basis that this is an Al-Qaeda suspect, or whatever suspect for that matter, and you take that boy and you throw him in a lorry full of other people, and you take him to a prison that has hardcore criminals, and then on top of it you insisted that that child has to be held inside for a minimum period of 5 days. When that child comes out, he's not going to be very child friendly. So this is an ideological war. It's a war of the brain. Whereas using force, brutal force, that will not help. It has never helped anywhere in the world, and I don't expect it to be able to help here. So there is only one way to go about it, and the way is to find out where the problem is. If the problem is an individual, arrest that particular individual. You do not go and do something en masse like this.
You pointed out it's an ideological issue that needs to be dealt with at that level. Looking at where we've come from, many years ago we never had this situation. But today we are facing a situation where we're facing a situation where we are having many young kids and very many young men, and where you represent, there are also lots of them. Why is it coming so fast right now, and how do we deal with it, the root cause? How do we?
Well, first of all, you have to remember that we're living in a very, very global era, where everything is so close to each other. Whatever happens here right now, my voice can be able to be transmitted to the rest of the world in a split second. So it is very, very easy to be able to disseminate information, the propaganda to be able to be sent out. And like I said, this is something that is not just unique to Kenya alone. The whole world, everywhere in the world you'll be able to get such kind of things. But the way to be able to target it is not target a whole group of people. You do not go and target a whole religion, or you do not go and target a whole mosque. And let it be known, I mean, I have family that is here. Right? I want my kids to be able to grow up in this same country that I grew up with. I feel sad when the same streets that I played when I was a young one are deemed no longer safe. I feel sad when I see mothers coming to cry to me about whatever is happening. And yes, I'm not pro terrorism. I will never be able to support terrorism. But let us not use the issue of fighting terror to make it to such an extent that we're ending up now making a recruitment of young people into terrorism acts becomes easy. Because this is what is happening. When you go and fight people like this, I mean, you ask anyone who is from Mombasa, ask any Muslim from anywhere right now, and any young person will come up to you and tell you, you know what, we would rather come out and fight instead of seeing our mosque being disrespected. So you're causing such unnecessary tension and unnecessary emotional issues. You kill people. When you shoot in a mosque and you kill someone in a mosque, is that really necessary?
It has been an issue that there are moments when police are forced to get to that point because they've been pushed to the edge.
I'll tell you what. And first of all, this is something that we're going to be taking up further. You can be rest assured that I'm compiling a whole report, and we will be taking this issue much further. We're not going to let it die, and we will not be able to cover fire with ashes, because deep inside, then there'll still be a fire out there, and when that fire erupts, it's going to erupt in a very, very negative way. So we're going to ensure that whatever that is there is quenched properly. And when they come up and come up in issues like they're the ones who shot fire first, that whole area has neighbors, and all those neighbors are people who are my constituents, people who I know on a personal level. And when your neighbor calls you and tells you that the police has done this, then you can be rest assured.
There's been a whole idea of some of the preachers that have been allowed into the country, especially in Mombasa, away from Tanzania, to preach in some of these mosques are very radical in the manner in which they're preaching to these young kids.
But look, my argument is very simple. If you have a system of vetting people, and the other day I was called in after this whole mess has happened, then they decide to call me in, and by the way, it's the first time that I've ever been called in where there's a whole team of security people there, and some of them I've never even known, but apparently they're meant to be heads of securities of different departments in this very county. And I asked them, when was has it ever occurred to you that this place has local leadership that can be able to try and use dialogue instead of force? Because I've never been called for any meeting, and I'm talking about me as Abdulswamad Sharif Nassir. Some of these people were appointed by one signature. For me, it took 35,000 people to tick on a ballot paper. So I feel I know those people more than some of these people who are here, who've been kept here. And when they wake up in the morning and try and take such kind of actions, some of these things are totally not necessary.
Have you ever had information about some of these preachers coming from Tanzania to preach?
But I mean, isn't that the job? Isn't that the job that if someone wants to come in, that the people are vetted, and you say, okay, this person, if he's coming because of A, B, C, and D, then we cannot be able to let the person in, and you give valid reasons. How many people have been arrested on terror charges? And I was asking the cops the other day, how many people are arrested on terror charges? Have you ever seen me coming to your office and telling you that I'm trying to protect this person because he's been arrested on terror charges? Because I'm letting them do their job. But at the same time, I'll have to keep on check to ensure that people's universal rights are not going to be violated. All right? And by the way, this applies to any religion. I question the issue of the Salvation Army being burnt. I question this officially in Parliament. As a matter of fact, I was the only parliamentarian to do that. I question the issue of priests and fathers being killed in what was deemed to be religious attacks. I raised these issues in Parliament because if we're going to allow this, and let me tell you, Mvita constituency is the most cosmopolitan constituency in the whole of this country. There's no other constituency in this country where you'll be able to get people of all walks of life. I have the poorest of the poor in this constituency. I have the richest of the rich. I have people from each and every tribe living in harmony for so many years together. People of every religion living together for so many years. And as much as that is a very, very fragile balance, it can easily be tipped to the other side. And we do not need external forces like the police force trying to do that.
What's the way forward?
The way forward is for them to be able to do their job. If you have a problem with a person, then say that we have a problem with a particular individual. You cannot have a problem with an institution. And forget about that. You cannot never ever say that you have a problem with religion. Because then you're not only violating and desecrating the Kenyan constitution, but you're going against the whole of humanity. You can never ever try and wake up in the morning and say that I have a problem with this religion. Or, do not even try and assume that you will come up and say that you will close a mosque. It will never happen. It will never happen.
If that happens?
It will never happen. I can assure you. It will never happen.
If that happens?
Because I will be the first person they'll be putting a bullet in.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.